Good morning and welcome to Yoga for Everyday Endurance Athletes and normal people too. And I can't reach my coffee. Ugh. It is good morning in sort of spring, Wisconsin. Today we are going to be doing some work with our hips and opening them up and doing lunges, half splits, lizards, knee, I don't know what they're called, but lame lizards maybe because your knee is out, doing some twists. So we'll really work on that. And then doing some crescent lunge to a triangle series. So we'll start in seated position. And we will start practicing with your breath. And you will start working on nasal breathing. In and out through your nose. And then start working on, you can even pull up your pants a little bit so that they're almost over, at least the front is almost over your belly button. And then use that to push against when you inhale. So use your belly to push against the top of your pants, the elastic, if you're wearing shorts or tights or whatever. Inhale and push against it and then relax. One more breath. Having a tough time breathing into my belly this morning. All right, let's roll forward into a cow and cat, so we'll be in our tabletop pose. And in tabletop, your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. And we'll practice the breathing that you were just doing into your belly. So inhale, drop your belly, stick your butt out a little bit, lift up your head. This is in cow. And then exhale, tuck your hips under, arch your back, and drop your head on the exhale. And just letting your belly relax. And then start your inhale, drop your belly in the cow. And I was just kind of holding my breath there. You're trying not to do that. You're trying to just let things open. And when it's done, just start rolling to the next side. All right, let's come back to a neutral. We'll do some bird dogs just to get our core working a little bit. So extend your left arm forward and then your right heel backwards. So we're not pointing our toes, you're extending your back heel. Yep. And now we're just going to hold this. The inhale will be then to hold, exhale, bring your hand to your right knee, and then exhale. 2 more of these, we'll like 5 on each side. If you want to even get more intense, you can bring your elbow into your knee. Come on down. Hopefully you're starting to breathe a little bit more now. So work on breathing into your belly, a little bit of energy going. All right, extend your right arm and left heel. Try to be reasonably straight. Inhale and exhale, come down into that curl. Exhale. Wait, what did I just say? I think I'm doing it backwards. Inhale. Exhale. I don't know which is which now. What's the harder part? Yeah, the inhale is out. This is the exhale. I was just wrong the first time. And last one. I'm gonna have to figure what that is because now I'm a little confused. All right, now from here, let's extend our hands a little bit. We'll come into a downward dog for a few moments because now we're gonna get into our lunges. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that. So if I suddenly like not doze off, but don't think or not pay attention to what I'm doing more than normal, I'm going to be thinking about breathing and bird dogs. All right, so from here, let's lift up our right foot into a 3-legged dog, bring it forward, drop your left knee, and we're gonna come into our low lunge. So first of all, we're gonna do the upright version. So we'll be doing a bunch of this. So if you have knees that have some challenges, you can always put a towel or something else. You can roll up. Another hint is to roll up your mat like this, so that you are, not protecting your knee, but if it's a little more comfortable. All right, so we're in upright row. Right knee is over your right ankle. And your hips and everything are pretty much facing forward. So the inhale is to relax a little bit as you bring your hips back. And then the exhale is to roll your hips forward, bringing your right knee forward. And you're going to feel this in your left hip flexors. That is the goal, the target muscle group. Inhale, come back. Exhale, roll forward. I'm doing this several times, and what you'll start hopefully feeling, although in the morning it's a little different, is the muscles starting to relax and essentially elongate. It's not exactly what's going on, but that's the idea. Metaphorically. Let's do one more. Good, now we're gonna go roll into half splits. So we're gonna push back. So now my right toe is coming off the mat a little bit. And if I need to, I can if I can, put my hands on the mat, or I can leave them up on my knee. And the goal now is on my right hamstrings and my right glute. So the inhale is to come forward. The exhale is to roll back. Inhale up. Exhale back. So you're keeping your right knee bent as you sit back so that you are extending your hamstrings, again, the back of your right thigh. All right, now let's roll up back to our lunge, but now we're going to combine the two of them. So we'll inhale at center, exhale, roll forward. Inhale back to center, and exhale, extend backwards. Inhale up, exhale forward. We'll repeat this a few more times. Exhale forward. You're kind of going at your own pace. You can follow along with what I'm doing. Exhale back. Maybe your breaths aren't quite the same. Exhale forward. Inhale, center, exhale back. And we'll do this one more time. This is something that we do a lot of on Mondays during Yoga for Recovery. Or if you are tight in your hips and sit a lot, these are really good movements. All right, so now what we're going to do is come back to center. We're going to come into a lizard pose. And if you have a block or a book, you can use it now. I often end up having to start with a block, but then it opens up. So lizard pose, both your hands are now inside of your knee. And so my right elbow is inside of my right knee. And if you can just bring your hands down to the mat. Almost there, but not quite. And this just gets a little bit more aggressive into that pose. And so what we'll do is just roll forward as much as we can. Inhale, come back, push your hips back. Exhale, roll your hips forward. Back. Forward. And you're going to feel this more in your hamstrings when we're doing this, which is why we did the half splits to warm up a little bit. At least that's where I'm getting it. All right, now, this is a goofy one. This is the lame lizard. I'm sure there's a name for it. But what we're going to try and do, if you choose, and you don't need to, you can keep going. But if you want to roll your right foot onto its side and push your knee out, that gets at a different, it gets more into your hip flexors. I'm sorry, into the internal of your hips and your inner thighs. This is kind of getting a little more pretzely than normal for us. But it also opens up a lot in our inner and outer hips that we don't normally get at. So when we get out of this, it'll be like, oh, this feels really uncomfortable. However, when you stand up and start walking, you will notice your hips feel a little bit more mobile. Okay, one more of these. Okay. Good. Now let's come back. We're going to leave your left hand on the mat. You can bring your right hand up to your knee. And now we're going to combine a lizard twist with our lunge. So our hips are here. So you can keep your hand here, or you can start to bring it up into the air. But the goal is to be inhaling and then exhaling, lifting your right shoulder up into the air and pushing your hips forward. Then inhaling back, exhaling, pushing forward and rotating your torso. So you're going to feel this in a whole bunch of different ways. Again, you're just trying to rotate as much as you feel comfortable doing on the exhale. And on the inhale, you're bringing your hips backwards and you're rotating your torso. My top of my left foot is on the mat. A lot of weight is happening in my left shoulder, so it's a little bit tight, but that's the last one. We'll come back. Bring your right hand to the mat. Bring your right foot back. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're running a little late. Push yourself back into a downward dog. This would be a bit of a rest pose for your hips. Again, when you inhale, come up on your tiptoes, push one heel down on the exhale. Tiptoes on the inhale, exhale the other heel. Inhale, tiptoes, try to sink your collarbones a little bit farther to the, closer to the mat. Lift your left foot up on the inhale into three-legged dog. Bring it forward. Drop your right knee. And we'll come into a lunge coffee drink. All right, so we're in our upright lunge. You know, someday a really experienced yoga teacher is going to watch my videos and realize that I don't use quite the right names because they all become kind of a hybrid. All right, inhale, hips back, because traditional yoga doesn't use all this movement. Exhale, forward. And I do use it because that's what research into stretching suggests. So it is kind of a hybrid. Now, if you ever are doing this by yourself, you can always get your arms up into the air and create a back bend doing these low lunges, which is kind of how they're meant to go, but it's a little aggressive for my hips. But we are going to do something like that in, oh, nice, look at you, go. With the crescent lunge, which is coming up next. So again, it's kind of like when your arms are up, you are creating a back bend as you roll forward, and that just creates more of a tug in your right hip flexors. Okay, now we're going to push back into half splits. So your inhale coming up to center, exhale, pushing back. Left knee stays bent. And you're just pushing back to what's comfortable, and as much as your left gluteuses and hamstrings will allow. Good. Now we're going to do our rolling. So we're starting here. Inhale up, exhale forward, inhale up, exhale back. So if you are stuck in the office and you're sitting a lot, this is an incredibly good, one of the most effective mobility exercises for your hips. The only thing it doesn't get is the outside movements, which is why we do the lame lizard or whatever it's called with your knee out. Do one more of these, and we'll come into our lizard. All right, again, if you need a block to start with or forever, left elbow is inside of your left knee. And now we are rolling forward, feeling a little bit more into our left knee, our left thigh. I don't feel as much in my right hip flexors anymore. It feels much more into my hamstrings on my left side. Just rolling forward. Good. We'll do one more here, and then we'll try our lame lizard. Starting to roll my foot already out. All right, now again. So you can stay in the lizard pose, or you can roll your foot out. Oh boy. Pretzel, but again, really, really effective for moving your hips. And I'm sure you can feel it once you get going in it. It's just this awkwardness to get into. Just keep letting your hips open with your knee coming out. Good. We'll do one more. All right. Now, let's leave your right hand on the mat. Bring your left hand to your knee. And you can leave, again, your left hand on your knee. And just rotate your torso like that. You can look up. But what we're going to do is inhale, bring our hips back. Left hand's going to come up in the air, pushing down with my left foot. I'm going to rotate forward and rotate my hips forward and my left shoulder up in the air. And then come back and rotate all the way around best I can. This one kind of gets a little bit of everything. And again, it's a great tool for hip and torso mobility. Almost done. Last one. Good. I'll bring your left hand down, left foot back. Get rid of the block or book if you have one. Downward dog. Let this be our rest pose. All right. From here, we'll do the same thing. Bring your right foot up into the air. Bring it forward. But this time, we're going to roll up into a crescent lunge. So now my right foot is forward. My left is back. My right knee is over my left. Wow, holy balance, Batman. Pushing my left heel down to the mat. Let's get our arms up into the air. And this is where we create the kind of back bend to open up your left side and your left hip flexors and your left quads. So the inhale is to relax a little bit. The exhale is to bring your torso back farther. Just keep pushing your back heel to the ground. Just keep opening up your hips as much as possible. Nicely done. Good. So check your front knee. A lot of times knees can roll in. Try to roll it so that it's over your ankle. There you go. All right, one more. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to inhale. Drop your back heel. And we'll come into a warrior two, but just for a moment. All right, so from warrior two, again, check your front knee. Roll it back over your ankle to the right. There you go. Now, from here, inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, reach forward with your right hand, and we're going to drop into a triangle pose. We're going to do just a little bit more torso twisting here and hip opening. So in triangle, both legs are straight, but not locked in your knees. The inhale is to drop your left shoulder and arm. The exhale is to rotate that arm so that it's going straight up to the ceiling. You can also work on dropping your right hand closer to the mat. The goal is that your torso is parallel to the floor and that you are as flat as possible. Good, just do one more. Excellent. All right, slowly roll up. We're going to do our nifty little transition by now rotating our toes all the way around. So now my left foot is forward. My right foot is now forward. I'm pushing back with my right heel. And I'm coming into a crescent lunge on this side. All right, same movements. Inhale, relax your torso. Exhale, bring your torso back. Your arms are up and straight. Your back leg is mostly straight. You're trying to make it straight at least. It's really hard to make it straight. You're pushing back with your back heel. On your front foot, you're trying to be on your heel as much as you can. There's not a lot of movement that happens here. It's very subtle. Okay, good. Let's do one more breath here. And now we're going to drop our back heel, rotate into a warrior two. Inhale your front leg straight. Reach with your left hand. Drop your left hand as you come into a triangle. Process. Inhale hand, your right hand and shoulder on top of your left. Inhale into your belly, exhale and rotate. Just two more breaths. Inhale, relax, exhale, rotate. Good. Now slowly roll up. Slowly point your feet forward or come into the mat till you're straight. Let's be in our standing at attention pose, mountain feet and mountain body. Breathe into your belly. Good. So inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Hands together. And the exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. Good. All right, thank you for joining us. Check out www.simpleendurancecoaching.com/yoga for more yoga and for more good stuff on coaching. Thanks.